Flakes are some of the greatest cereal of all time. I mean, of all time, of all time. I mean, I bet even Carol Baskin, Joe Exotic loved Tony the Tiger and Frosted Flakes. All right, let's go ahead. We're gonna get so much work done. All right, let's go. 100 things successful people do. That certainly doesn't mean I discriminate against other animals, because I do like turtles, I do like penguins, but I like Tony. I'm gonna get some Frosted Flakes.
A little later.
Okay, let's reread this first page. Okay, let's do this. So motivated now. Let's do it. I mean, surely they gotta warn children that playing with tigers has serious risks, but he's a fictional character, right? Alright, come on, just focus. From here on out, no distractions. Let's do this. But first, I do think maybe I need to just take a step back and get some coffee. I mean, I've always seen all the successful people, they're always with coffee. Let me just go get a cup of coffee and maybe some Frosted Flakes.
2 hours later.
Okay, really, now I am good. Let's go ahead, and we're gonna figure out the secret to be successful. Let's do this. Read that first page. Let's do it. Yeah, boy, we out here. You got this. Ain't nothing holding you back. Let's do it. Does time have a beginning or an end? Can people change? Is our universe real? How many universes are there? Or even more importantly, I think Taco Tuesday's hitting me. I gotta go take care of this.
6 hours later.
Okay, alright, now officially good to go. I figured it out. All I need is a couple more motivation books to really be motivated on how to be successful. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, if I had like a couple more books, I mean, I'm almost ready. I just need a couple more books. That's really it.
Many months later.
Alright, so now I've got all the tools. Nothing can stop me. I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna focus, read that highlighted section. Nothing can stop me. Nothing will stop me. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be motivated. I'm gonna be successful. Nothing can stop me.
Hey, what's up, man? Yo. No, I ain't busy. No, I ain't doing anything right now. Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, bro, I'll see you in 5 minutes. Yeah, I'll meet you there. Okay. All right. Yeah, later. Hey everyone, I'm excited to talk to you guys about today's topic, which is self-confidence, motivation, how to be successful. There's so many overwhelming large quantities of resources that exist on these topics, and my interest is to talk to you guys today about whether or not I feel like any of these things are actually helpful. So what's the answer? Yes? No? Maybe? The answer is maybe. Look, in this video, I want to talk about all the different myths that exist with consuming a lot of this type of content. I think that a lot of these resources can actually be somewhat detrimental unless you're using them the right way. A lot of the times, like I said, they're not actually beneficial, and the reason for that is because a lot of people end up consuming this content in excess amounts. And essentially it's like reading without actually comprehending or understanding or actually learning to apply the things that you educate yourself on. This can be really bad because you're falsely convincing yourself that you are actually making progress, moving forward, getting somewhere, where in reality what's actually happening is you're reading and you're consuming a lot of the content, but you're applying and doing none of it. So then how do you do it, doc? Well, it's pretty much Nike's slogan, you just do it. That's really it, you just do it. You read about it, you learn, and then you learn to apply it and actually practice it over and over and over until you actually are using it in your daily life as a habit. I mean, think about it like this, guys. If I gave you 100 books on how to swim or 100 books on how to take the best jump shot, you probably still won't be very good in either of those things unless you actually go out and try them. If I throw you into a lake when you've just read books on how to swim, you're probably not going to feel very confident. Similarly, I've also read that a lot of these professional athletes practice the same shots from the same positions over and over again so that when it comes to the actual game-deciding shot, they end up feeling a lot more confident because they've basically practiced so much to the point that it's muscle memory and they're able to replicate that same shot without thinking too much about it. That's kind of how I apply it to this whole motivation and self-help group of resources, if you will. Whenever you read a lot of these books, you end up having a release of some neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and they end up making you feel really good. And you basically feel that you're deriving so much from this content. However, it's not actually you applying any of it. With my channel, my intention is to really change that and help you learn to overall apply everything that you use or you read or you learn about. I want to give you guys my best advice, but at the same time, I want you guys to know that the only person who can actually apply and utilize the resources is you. And I have honestly noticed that this is one of the most difficult things, really being able to consistently apply the knowledge to the things that you've actually learned. You can't expect to simply read about something and then be amazing at that thing, right? You can't expect somebody who has just finished medical school to go in and perform surgeries, take out your gallbladder. It doesn't work like that. You want someone who's went through a residency, who's had extensive training, years of cutting and operating and hours in the OR, so that they're more confident with those things. And it's the same thing with applying any of this stuff. You have to actually practice it in order to solidify it and make it a habit for yourself. For me personally, one example is actually getting started at the gym. I used to try to obsessively learn how to do every exercise, and I found myself consumed in so much content that basically outlined how to perform different exercises. And while this can be somewhat helpful, I noticed I actually didn't spend any of the time actually at the gym getting anything done or working out at all. I think this type of trap is so common and it can affect so many people that are trying to do a variety of different things. And it's especially common when you're starting off. And this brings me to another point, which is that a lot of times we try our best to simply complete a task because we're anxious about getting that task finished. And then we want to move on to the next thing. And that's why I don't necessarily like the word just to read, because I think a lot of times in my life, I've known that if I'm not truly focusing or concentrating on what it is that I'm reading, I'll read, I'll reread, and I'll reread the same paragraph and note that I'm actually nowhere. I don't recollect what I just did because I wasn't zoned into what I was doing at the time. I think a better way to put it would be to read in order to learn, or read in order to actually educate yourself and then aim to apply that information. And that brings me to another point, which is really the speed at which you're getting things done. A lot of times you gotta slow things down when you're first settling into them. And the way our minds think is that we wanna try to finish things as quick as we can so we can move on to the next thing. I think the best advice I would have is that it's really important to settle down, start focusing, concentrating, not worry about actually finishing the task or future tasks, and kind of focus on the present. Focus on what you're doing and perform that task the most optimal way that you actually can. I want to give another personal example, and this is kind of something that I used to notice that I would start doing a lot of, and that was that I would order tons and tons of resources as they related to a particular topic. I would try and watch a lot of videos, for instance, if I was trying to learn the basics of FL Studio. And again, it was like you order a bunch of resources, but you're not able to completely spend your time tapping into any of them. And you, again, focus on the material that you're actually reading without actually applying any of it. So you never actually open the application and practice any of the things that you've read because you want to feel like you have a grasp because there's such an overwhelming amount of material. The action that actually matters was to try and learn and apply that skill so that you could actually make use of what you were reading. It happens so frequently, like people will buy so many different things and you end up feeling convinced that you're getting somewhere and you're progressing. But again, unless you're actually learning it or you're utilizing it, you're still at square one. You're not going forward. And this brings me to my final point. A lot of this is related to procrastination, which is a huge topic and another video for another time. I think procrastination is something that almost everyone has suffered from at some point or at some time in their life. It's so common once you have so many resources like this to actually procrastinate getting done what it is that you actually need to do. Finding ways to actually avoid completing the task is such an easy thing that we as humans do, and it happens more frequently than I think you would realize. You actively have to train yourself to not just worry about trying to control and prepare every aspect of whatever it is that you're trying to complete, but actually going in and trying to actually immerse yourself in that task while learning about it so that you're better able to apply yourself. And that's a wrap, guys. So again, don't let this video discourage you guys from actually purchasing a lot of these self-help books and these motivational resources, because I want you guys to know that I do think there's a place for them and they can be tremendously useful if utilized properly. You have to actually apply the information that you've garnered from these things to see progress. I don't want you guys to just consume a lot of this content mindlessly. And that's one of the most important things that you need to do while you're reading, is to actually be mindful so that you can focus and extract information and actually apply it. It's so easy for us to read something about how to maintain good posture, for instance, and after we learn it, we just never utilize it or actually apply it. And so what was the whole point? To me, then it's like the whole time you spent even learning about it was a waste of time. I think it's a very difficult skill to master, but once you start to actually be mindful of the things that you're doing, you'll notice such a big drastic change in your overall results and in your habits, and I think it can be so much better for you. So again, please, if you learned anything at all or you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. I just need a couple more books. That's really it.